Most folks are familiar with honey locust trees, and there's a couple of camps about how people feel about honey locust trees. Now, honey locust is a legume, makes a big old pod. Almost all plants that make a big old bean pod looking thing are legume, or they take nitrogen from the air and pump it in the soil. That's a positive. And another positive is deer, if they're hungry, will eat those big pods. You often hear people that hunt timberland or pasture land, not many great groceries around, talk about deer eating those big locust pods, or even in ag areas where all the crops have been harvested and there's nothing during the winter time, so deer eat the pods. But if you look at the nutritional analysis of those pods, it's not very high. I hope I can manage my property in such a way that deer aren't dependent on locust pods for good food. Now, there's a lot of folks in the negative camp, me being one of them's got giant thorns on there. I can't tell you how many tires I've had to have fixed in my lifetime due to locusts. And man, they're tough to walk through. If you're trailing a deer at night or something, get into a locust without looking up. Some people are actually allergic to the toxins that come out of those locust thorns if they puncture your skin, and have a pretty bad reaction. So there's ample reasons to say a negative for me. Not only are those negatives, but where this tree was, if I've herbicided these trees and I use a little prescribed fire underneath there, I'll get a lot of native grasses and forbs growing most likely. And forbs are certainly better food, gonna produce bigger antlers, more milk and does to have fawns, all that stuff, than locust trees. So I'm in the camp of getting rid of locust trees. Locust trees can be tough to terminate, and oftentimes glyphosate or Roundup doesn't work well on them. We use some Tordon. We hack and squirted a mixture of Tordon and diesel fuel. Now, we don't use any extra because, again, we just hack and squirt. We're not spraying the whole canopy or anything. We make a little slice in there, again, one hack per about each 3 inches diameter of the tree, and put just a little squirt, about a milliliter of that mixture in there. Wait a few weeks and you'll see the leaves turning yellow. So I wanted to take these locust trees out of this little patch, just a small patch, 10, 20 trees, and next year I'll use a prescribed fire. It's really important to terminate locust trees with the herbicide before you doze or push them over. If you just doze them over while the tree's alive, you'll learn this the hard way, maybe like I have. Wherever it has roots run through the soil, there can be hundreds of root suckers coming up, saplings coming up, or sprouts coming up off those roots. You'll just see lines going everywhere. Instead of taking care of one locust tree, you got to take care of a bunch. So if you're in the camp I'm in, use that simple ratio of Tordon and diesel fuel, read the label, hack and squirt, take care of these locust trees, and improve the habitat where you hunt.